Our super duper super week is coming to a close. The ESL Pro League back in business for another evening. We've been with you all week long. I do say we. I am joined by some beautiful faces. I'll introduce you to them in just a moment. For now, though, we'll quickly tell you exactly what's going down here in the Intel Esports Arena. I'm your host, Machine, and we have got ourselves some games today. We get to see more from the likes of FaZe Clan, getting to see how they try and battle for another 6 points on the board for them. And outside of that, we get to see Heroic, more Danes. It seems that we've got quite a Danish theme as of late, but you'll be seeing some of them. In fact, you can see the times as well. Envy versus Mouse Sports to end our evening. We get to see the French side, who seem to be masters of the online stages. They're going to be doing battle, as well as seeing more from... I mean, in general, I think FaZe is where you guys at home are going to be most excited. Perhaps the guys on the panel as well. I'm joined by Yanko YNK Paunovic and Chad Sponge Birchall. Gentlemen, have I ever got better at pronouncing your surname? Has there been any improvement?
Gradually, but I think it's just impossible for you, basically, because of different ways of speaking.
Yeah, I mean, how's yours? Birchill? Birchill?
Yeah, the origin is birch tree on a hill.
Really?
Yeah.
And actually, you'll never guess what mine is. I was the son of Richard.
Ah.
It's really boring.
Can you guess what mine is?
You were the...
I could say something, but it's probably not PC.
Was it about Poon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A snitch.
Paunovic. I reckon it was the vicar of the village.
No. The first 4 letters of my name actually are a peacock.
You're a peacock. Peacock, and then what's like the Vich part? Does it have like a kind of ending? Like are you peacock man?
It's like
peacock
everything ends with an itch in like Serbia.
Kovac.
So.
Well, no. He's Bulgarian.
Well, swiftly on now.
Okay.
Or 90% of it, at least. It's very common.
Either way, well, as we're kind of feeling a little bit more educated, we can educate you on the standings as well. They have been standing behind our analysts, but this is what it's looking like right now. And I think most people's attention will be drawn to the tops and the bottom, but actually the middle often goes unmentioned. Notice LDLC, Hellraisers, Mouse Sports are all ahead of names such as Na'Vi, G2, Heroic, Envy. I mean, this is kind of where the new addition, LDLC, from the Mountain Dew League, in fact, have actually managed to make quite the impact.
They were with us last season, Alex. It was a good try. It's Godsend who we've got, and Big from the Mountain Dew League.
But LDLC did come from the MDL, didn't they?
2 seasons ago.
So when I said they came from the MDL, was there anything wrong in that statement?
You just presented it like they were new this season.
Okay, so are they from the MDL?
Yes.
Thank you, appreciate that, Chad. Moving swiftly on, as he's clearly highlighted, the Godsend as well, new arrivals, Big Clan, we saw them, actually casted their qualification for the MDL.
How's that?
It was really cool. Me and Jason hung out. We got to hang out in Leicester, of all places, Leicester.
I've never been there.
Place.
Yeah, great hotels, lovely time. I actually went to university there, so I can't badmouth it at all. In the North American region as well, we'll fill you in with what's going on there now. None other than the European roster of Optic are actually top of the table, ironically. And then South America, so really you have to go all the way to 3rd before we start finding some North Americans.
And even then, there's only, what, 3? I think there's 2 Frenchmen in there, right?
You're right,
2 Frenchmen and then we got Sean... Yeah.
Sean
Devodek.
Devo Dubek.
And Shazam.
Devo
And then
he's half Serbian or something.
We were
His last name is Dobrosavljevic.
Talking about last night, SK, always seeming to split series, but they're actually able to 2-0 Renegades there, who weren't able to get it done on Mirage or Cobblestone. Stayed up late for that one just to be disappointed. So
any close ones?
16-13 on the Cobblestones for Renegades.
Okay, close but no cigar.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, with all of that said, and the fact that we are struggling to find some North Americans at the top of the North American table, Liquid are going to be chomping at the heels of many of those names we just talked about as the league does progress. Because where are we at now? How much more gameplay are we going to be seeing from the Pro League before things start getting scary?
9 play days.
Yeah.
I would say by the time we get to the end of next week, week number 6, it's going to have at least a couple of teams almost guaranteed spots in the top 6. It's the bottom area where it starts to get really, really interesting, especially with the last week where we have 5 play days. So that's going to be another stretch. Not quite a super week. What's under a super?
What's under a super?
Maybe this is a mega
Sidekick week.
Sidekick week, yes.
I like that.
I know lots about that.
Yeah. Good old sidekick Chad. With all of this going down, we have got to kind of start turning our attention to the games in hand. Now, before we address our first match, due to some qualifiers being played, let's just quickly, briefly cover what's happening over in the NV Mouse column, so you guys know why you should be sticking around to enjoy that affair. I'm turning to you here, Yenko, when I can't help but ask, why is everyone saying this game is going to be close? It's going to be a bit of a brawl.
I think because these two teams are actually pretty similar when you look at the play styles and skill, right? They both have a decent amount of structure. They both have individual players that can step up. Recently on the side of Envious, it has been RPK with some massive performances. On Mouse Sports, obviously, you point to Oscar. After that, Robs. But besides that, they tend to play good online, especially Envious qualified for a number of tournaments during the past couple of months or so. Unfortunately, they're not performing that well in Pro League. Have picked it up recently, but for Mouse Sports, it's been even worse. You know, besides that run in Mykonos, everything else has been, you know, pretty disappointing.
Yeah, outside of the individuals for both teams doing well and the fact that they can do a lot better online than what we have seen on LAN historically from these squads, they do actually have good strategies, and the way they approach the game can be unique and it can be well-rounded. I think the big things to point out is the fact that we've seen both teams struggle against force buys, right? They're not too fantastic when it comes to those low buy or mixed buy situations. They're not able to convert, and we saw that the other night with Mounds versus Na'Vi. So they're going to need to close out those rounds if any team wants to have a concise victory.
Concise victory is what FaZe are looking for as well. They're currently playing the Epicenter Qualifier Grand Final, and it does look like they're about to pick it up. They're currently 15-6 ahead against NIP on Mirage after a rather close one.
I think they played NIP like 7 times just in that qualifier alone.
Definitely like 3.
It definitely feels like, and they've been thrashing them every single time.
Bless them.
Despite the one time they played Cobble. And that's when NIP got the better of them, and I believe that was actually in Pro League. Yeah,
it is kind of crazy when we realize that, you know, this FaZe name hasn't been a mainstay in Counter-Strike. However, now look at the names that it does house. While I do catch our breath and prepare for our first map of the ESL Pro League match day. Where are we at now? Even 20. Yeah, we've gone all the way. Let's go ahead and remind ourselves about what's the origins of the FaZe clan and where they're at right now.
FaZe Clan is an American organization founded in 2010 and is now owned by Thomas Oliveira. FaZe Clan originally began as a team that would create trickshot videos from Call of Duty and publish it on YouTube. The FaZe brand quickly rose in popularity and began having millions of subscribers, enabling the brand to have the funds required to dive into the competitive esports scene. FaZe Clan made a few Call of Duty rosters before turning their attention to Counter-Strike in 2016 when they bought out the entire G2 roster. Since then, FaZe have won a few tournaments, most noticeable the Star Ladder Finals back in April. Unfortunately, the team have had a hard time to keep up the good results and have had many lows, such as the last major in Krakow, where the team didn't even get into the top 8. To fix what seemed broken, the team have spent a lot of money to secure an overwhelmingly powerful lineup. After multiple roster changes, they have gotten a hold of a true superstar lineup with 5 extremely potent and highly skilled players. First off, they have their entry fragger, the always lethal Norwegian Håvard Rain Nygaard.
Into the bike. Don't let me get it. Oh my god, what has happened? Rain and Long looking for blood, and he gets 4 headshots. It's over. The refs called it. They're dead. It's oh my god. Wow.
Next up is the Bosnian prodigy Nikola Niko Kovac. Niko is currently one of the best players in the world, and many assume he will be the very best in years to come.
Niko's got them sitting in the right to the traps and goes to the pistol. If they lose like this, it would be a disaster. But what a play from Niko to make it a possibility. Stanislav.
This August, FaZe got a hold of the 2 newest additions, the Orbal Ladislav Guardian Kovacs from Na'Vi, and the best CSGO player of 2015, the Swedish Olofmeister Kaibier from Fnatic.
Switch goes out first, third Guardian falls, and Liquids. Oh, okay.
They are all being led by the experienced Danish in-game leader, Finn Kerrigan Andersen. Kerrigan have been known for underperforming kill-wise, but what he lacks in firepower, he makes up for his in-game leading and tactics.
Get this spray down McCann. That actually opens up a chance for Liquid to stand found Guardian as well. It comes to a 2 versus 2, and there is kits for both Liquid players who go aggressive, but Elige not fast enough.
The team's first challenge was the DreamHack Masters Malmö. Here, they disappointingly enough were eliminated early in the group stages. But recently, the team seems to have fixed what was broken. FaZe came out strong and won the entire ESL 1 New York tournament without losing a single map. FaZe Clan now seems stronger than ever and must be a feared opponent in tournaments to come. And maybe they will claim the #1 ranking in the world.
How good can you be?
I think we showed today what we can do if all players are hitting their peak. But you also have to be honest, if some players don't hit their peak, we need some structure, and that's what we need to work on the rest of the year. We're not ready to be the world champ right now, but we will be in 1 month or 2 months.
In a month. Carrigan making it clear as well that though they may have won that on their brawn alone, they do need some brains behind that brigade if they want to go ahead and have some consistency. Gentlemen, what do you make of Carrigan's sentiment that they won New York almost exclusively on their individual prowess?
I mean, it's great to hear. I don't think they want it exclusively on that, but as he said, this is what we're capable of when everyone hits their peak, right? In that sense, you don't really need to do much, in terms of strategies or anything. You're just getting all the entry kills, winning all the duels, and at that point, winning is easy, right? So it's great to see the presence of mind, them knowing that that's not going to happen every single time, despite the talent that they have on the roster, and that they need more depth within their team.
There's definitely teething issues to getting them to the point of being the world champs, right? We can see smart strats in their play. It's definitely coming out. The thing is that I'm really excited about is the fact they're going for a 7-map pool. Them actually dabbing with Cobble, and they have had that first game they didn't have much success, but they played it again, and they're able to win on it against Heroic. So it's exciting to see, and it could be if they keep on this trajectory, if they keep on this path and can keep up these kind of results, and going into the end of the year, they're going to be definitely the favorites or potentially the top team in the world by then.
I mean, that's what's so exciting about FaZe is that they could have probably one of the quickest rises to power since a roster change. I mean, this was, this roster hasn't existed for too long. You get Olaf and Guardian in the roster, and already an event win under their belts. It took North a whole lot longer, and these are their stats.
That's the thing. It's not just the fact that they won New York and all of that. It's how they're playing and their results. Even though they're online, it's just so dominant. Teams are struggling to get double digits against them.
Yeah, running on that sentiment of rise to power, we haven't had a clear number one in quite some time in Counter-Strike. It looked like it was SK when they had that string of events, but now, FaZe could definitely put their hat in the ring for that position. I think, these next couple of tournaments we have coming up are going to decide who will be the top dog. Pretty clear, everything's very even on that FaZe side, right?
It's just kind of crazy.
Also interesting to see just 4 ADR difference between the highest and the lowest player on the side of Heroic. So that just tells you most of the time it's a team effort when they play. Even though you would probably point to Yugi as the star of the team, as the primary opper, and then Nico, it doesn't seem that they really, are that far ahead of the rest of the pack.
Yeah, and someone I'm really kind of not worried about, but my eye is drawn to for the Heroic roster, and this may be somewhat of a deviation from what we were planning on talking about, but S-Tag, the newer edition.
Yeah.
He plays plays his socks off online, and I saw him. I've never seen someone crumble so poorly in an offline environment. He was well aware of it. He was self-aware that was a bad tournament for him, but if you look at his Pro League stats and his offline stats, there is a huge discrepancy there, which I find kind of crazy that we're still seeing players struggle with one environment to the other.
I guess it's a really quick thing, for these Danish guys to get put from, playing in their online teams and these lesser leagues into a team like Heroic, who, sure, they're not a top dog within Denmark, but they're still the 3rd best team, and they get to play against Tier 1 opponents all the time. Going to any level of LAN event, even like they're in Mykonos, it's still a bigger step up for them, and getting over those LAN jitters is something which isn't actually easy. It's something quite difficult, and if you don't have teammates around you that are super experienced to actually lift you up to that, when you think about the players they have, the 2 experienced guys are Snappy and Moddy. Now, Snappy never really got to play on big stages. He was the 1.6 player. He got to play in big-ish events, but not to the same scale of what we're seeing now, and he didn't ever really make it to any huge finals in 1.6. Then you have Moddy. He was in and out of that kind of stuff. He actually did make it to some big events. In CSGO, he's been in big events. He's played on stages. It's just, maybe there isn't enough experience in the roster to help calm S-Tag down and show him where he needs to be.
LAN jitters a real thing?
I think it's 2 aspects of it. One is from the side of the player, right, that you're used to maybe playing from your own room, just playing online games, and then you get on the big stage and everything's different. But the other thing is also your opponents play differently, especially the Tier 1 teams, right? They are more relaxed when they play online games. They know that they can afford to make a few mistakes here and there, but when it comes to LAN, it's a whole different story. They know how to play against you. They know how to instill fear in you to an extent, right? They know the difference, and that comes from experience. So it's just up to, first things first, you have to focus on yourself and make sure that you can achieve or perform on a similar level like you do online, and after that, it's learning how to play against some of these guys who've been around for a very long time.
I actually think Yugi was someone who was having the same kind of struggle early, right? Online with the AWP has a lot of impact. He's a superstar, but then on LAN up until E-League, he didn't get a lot done. At E-League in the qualifier, he was actually looking quite good, and he was one of the reasons they actually were able to get across to the playoffs, which we have going on next week. But to see a lot out of this kid is the most important factor, I think, for Heroic. The #1 win condition.
Yeah, sorry, I was listening. I did just get slightly distracted. I just saw that the head-to-head of these two teams.
Yeah, 5-0.
Yeah, but what's even crazier is 4 of those were this month.
Yeah, and
they didn't get 10 rounds.
And what's even crazier than that is in ECS they played the exact same maps as they're playing this evening, and FaZe drubbed them 16-4, 16-7.
Goodness gracious me.
So you know where the conversation goes from here? You go, hey, so what do they need to do to win? Well, the fact of the matter is right now, you're not making small adjustments from 16-4, 16-7 losses. You got absolutely blown out of the water. The win conditions are Yugi has to show up. He gets the opening kills time and time again. The rest of the team have to be able to close on that against superstars like FaZe, and then FaZe need to be having an off night.
Good golly, 16-3 on Cobblestone. Heroic Cobblestone, 16-3.
Cop that, eh?
Versus FaZe, who are trying to add that to the map pool. Carrigan never used to do Cobblestone with his previous team. That is scary. Like, I mean, if you're Heroic, you're going into this game with almost in the back of your head, you've kind of lost already.
Listen, playing against FaZe is a pain in the ass right now.
Yeah.
I mean, you have so much firepower on that team that you're just, whatever you do, it's similar to the old Fnatic in that sense. You have to, win those fights somehow at some point. No matter what you do as a team, at some point you're still going to have an aim duel and you're going to have to win it. And on top of that, we saw it time and time again from FaZe. They're perfectly capable of throwing some strats your way as well. So you think you're adjusting on the CT side, for example, you're going to try to do something together as a team, group up, and FaZe comes at you with a pretty cool set to execute. And then you're like, well, what are we supposed to do? When it comes to duels, they're better than us. Comes to tactics, strategies, they outplay us, and that's where you get such dominant score lines from the side of FaZe. Yeah,
and FaZe did just play versus NIP, as we said before in that qualifier. Guardian had 30 frags in under 20 rounds, so just keep your eyes on. Maybe he's hot. He saw his kind of filling the kill feed there in the highlights. I wouldn't mind a retro Guardian performance tonight.
And yes, they played the same maps recently against Heroic, but also 3 days before that game, they played them in a different qualifier, and they played different maps, right? So it's, they've tried changing maps, and it's not working. So it's just about finding a way on the maps that you do play to get at least some sort of an edge.
Something to give hope for Heroic is if they can start well and they can actually get the economy up, that's when Yugi's going to have the impact. Because you watch this kid online, he's very aggressive on the CT side with the AWP, and he can find a pick. The problem that he has is his teammates aren't able to convert. He seems to find the opening pick and get away. Sure. And then they have the 5v4, and they still seem to lose rounds. Like, I haven't actually checked out their stats for how often they convert on certain maps when they get the opening kill, but I'd say it's probably not as high as other teams, right? Because I just watch it happen, and it's like they either play too scared when they're up 5v4, or people get caught out, or their rotations are poor.
No, you don't have the Heroic stats, but you did have Reigns. You were telling me this in the green room, right?
Yeah.
Is this something like, it's a crazy percentage?
It was 94% when I looked at it before play yesterday. So before FaZe's play started yesterday, I think it's gone down to 88%. But he isn't an entry fragger by any means, right? It just means that when he gets the opening kill on the T side or the CT side, that they convert off of him. And the reason for that is, or the reason that I can extrapolate based off those stats, is because he isn't an entry fragger. So if a frag comes his way, he normally doesn't die, and then they're able to convert or the round from there. Whereas like someone who's more aggressive, like an Olaf or a Nico, they might get the opening kill or get that entry frag, but then get traded, right? So you're not really giving your team too much other than that, 4v4 situation where you might be able to play the mid-round smarter.
Sure. I mean, context to statistics really is necessary.
It's also the amount of entry kills that he gets.
If he gets 3, yeah, exactly.
So obviously, still it's a high percentage that's being converted. But when you look at Heroic and something that they might go for, I think one of the few flaws that FaZe does have is on their CT side. They still rely a lot on their individual players, right? Because they're so good, they just, everyone hold their own spot and they're going to get the job done. So for Heroic, it might be running an execute heavy style where they will use their utility, try to isolate those players in a 1v2 situation so they can always get the trade kill. And if you manage to do that, then you will get into the bomb site and hopefully you can hold in the afterplan situation.
We are seeing bits of that piece of the puzzle, them playing as individuals and not maybe having as much chemistry as they would like to, or at least cohesion in the mid round actually coming to fruition in recent times, especially last night against Astralis, when you saw Olaf Meister and Nico in a 2-on-5 situation on that A bomb site on Mirage, and Olaf grabs 3 kills, and then Nico and I think it was Nico was juking with the UMP against Device, right? And then they win that kind of round. If they can pull that out of the bag, 2 to 3 times a game, they're going to be unstoppable, right? Because those are rounds that they should never be winning.
Right, and especially if you are, with which most teams will be going against FaZe, having the mindset of, we're screwed, this is going to be tough, this is going to hurt. And then you're like, right, we've got it, this is a round, 5v2, don't choke. And then Olaf Meister and Nico just do Olaf Meister and Nico things.
You're never going into a game with that mindset. You always try to find some silver lining for you. You're aware that you're playing a team that's individually more skilled than you. So you're going for, okay, let's not give them those fights. Let's try and make it so that it's uncomfortable for them to fight us and find a way in. And you always know that there's no room for mistakes, right? If we get the entry kills, you know, if it's a 5v4, don't let them get the trade kill back. If we get the bomb down, play it safe. Don't go for anything crazy. We have the numbers advantage, just play off of each other. Because every mistake you make, every inch of space you give to FaZe, they're going to take it and they will punish you for it.
Well, I think that Heroic are going to be feeling rather down in the dumps, but I know two people that won't be. They are indeed happy as Larry. It's Hank and Harry.
He's pretty good, Alex. He came up with that himself
that was good.
Just now on the fly, so that wasn't bad at all. We're back at it again. It will be FaZe versus Heroic, and as the guys built up, it's looking rather grim for Heroic in terms of what they're up against. A world-class FaZe team that seem like they're in very good form right now.
Yeah, no, it's got to be scary if you are Heroic. Yeah, I mean, really Heroic kind of making their name for themselves, if you remember. At IEM Katowice earlier this year. That was when people really started to take notice. Since then, we saw them lose Valde, if you remember. He departed to that new North lineup, and in his place, they bring in S-Tag, someone who I think has been struggling to live up to the hype. Live up to the expectations of Valde.
He struggled tremendously. Yep. He was very poor at that event, probably one of the worst performing players of the entire event itself. So we'll see whether he can bounce back as we get into round number 1. It will be a T-side start for Heroic here, and we've got 2 smokes, a couple of flashbangs, and they have got some early banana control as well. Karrigan and Nico not contesting that area whatsoever, but Yugi, he does take down Olaf Meister. He actually pushed the apartments there and gets dropped. It's a 5-on-4, and now Heroic with quite the lead, but Rain, he's got some decent map control here, but gets dinked in the process down to 1 HP.
Yeah, he's not looking too healthy. He does find himself trapped over here in apartments. Oh, in the meantime, though, Nico over here on Banana tries to turn things back into the advantage of FaZe, which he'll be allowed to do. Nico takes 2 there entirely for free. And now it's FaZe, back in the driving seat.
Yeah, Nico, stunning work there. Rain is still on 1 HP. He's actually got quite a decent angle here. He can call, they're not coming back towards A. They could probably afford to rotate Guardian over, but Rain's so low, they won't be doing that just yet. Nico, tremendous work with the USP so far. Look how brave he is, wants to keep challenging. Smoked out for now. It will come down to Karrigan, who's boosted up. Can't find a shot just yet, but there it is. It finally comes in. 4-on-2. Surely this round going in favor of FaZe as the final smoke is deployed.
Yeah, Yugi's tagged that much lower and through the smoke. Nico does go down. Karrigan's going to try and challenge. He runs on in. He's going to give away the man advantage, but Rain and Guardian, they do manage to mop that up. On
1 HP, the final kill comes through. Karrigan could have waited maybe a couple more seconds before he fully committed through the smoke. His teammates weren't quite ready to get the refract straight away, but overall, it was fine. Great work from Nico to recover the situation and Rain to stay alive so long as well. 1 HP, so fragile in that bedroom position. That was a nice shot from S-Tag. The bomb went down. And that's all they'll get out of the round. But they do force buy in the second, Harry. We're seeing more and more teams do this as the game develops with this recent patch. Obviously, the CZ very powerful at the moment. Trying to shut down a potential SMG round coming in from FaZe, but they've prepared themselves for the round number 3. Traditionally, AKs come out in the 3rd. They've got into 4 rifles and an MP9. But maybe some over-aggression here from the FaZe side could mean they run into the Galil of Yugi. 3 CZs, a Galil and a UMP, trying to find the opening frag now.
And Heroic are a team that go for this sort of buy quite a bit, but it's always one that I question from them. Yugi, you're very dependent on having him on that AWP. He's very strong with it, and normally he's one of the players who has stepped up to fill the role of Valde since he departed. Putting up great numbers with the AWP. Modi and Nico being kind of the other 2 that spring to mind.
Sure.
But they've gone for the aggressive force here. They've stuck him on the Galil. Now let's see if that does pay off for them.
Problem is, S-Tag being tagged up, presumably being spotted now with the UMP, so I'm sure FaZe will be a little bit more cautious now. They're heading towards Banana. Unfortunately, that's where Nico resides, and we know how powerful he can be. Give him an inch, he'll take a mile every single time. Smoke's coming in. He's made the call. He'll probably go for some shots through the smoke here. Does tremendous amount of damage as well. Dinks up 2 of them. Karrigan chimes in as well.
Karrigan not content with just being able to get 1. Does find more damage. Bomb plant looking to come on in. Nico hasn't even seen anyone yet, and look at how much damage he's inflicted to this Heroic lineup. Bomb is down. They're going to need more than that, though, for this round to be worth it. Karrigan pushing up through CT. Flash going to go out for him. Allows him to find the first. Spots one of the players down in Nemo as well. Going to smoke off Banana. They do lose Yugi there. Both players now waiting, and Emo, the whole idea here is you check it, you think you've got one, but they spot Modi. And he is going to fall to Nico. Defuse going to come on in, and FaZe will be able to pick that round up, somehow keeping 5 alive in spite of the buy coming in from Heroic.
Yeah, it was looking quite promising there for Heroic. They got the smokes down, got Nico out of the situation, but the spam came through the smoke. As a suggestion, actually got 2 dings at the same time as well. Carrigan got a kill as they made their entry. And yes, they got the bomb down, but so much damage inflicted there by the 2 defending CT players. The round was pretty much over as soon as the bomb went down. They don't pick up a single kill, but the bomb planted means they do get a pretty reasonable buy going into round number 4. This will be a little partial buy of Deagles and a PT-50, and they might get a plant again, but the nade suggests they might not. Olof Meister, aggressive, of course, as he runs down towards T-steps. That's the bomb obtained, at least, down towards the underpass area, and we're in a 5-4.
Yeah, that bomb plant looking less and less likely here, Henry. As it is just going to be a nice mop up here for FaZe. Another chance for them to keep 5 alive. Snappy could actually find some damage here as Olof comes crawling his way. Oh, drops down, jump scare, but no. Olof does manage to find it. FaZe going to be on 3-0. They convert the 2 anti-ecos on the back of the pistol, as you would expect. And now it looks like they're going to go for a no investment here, as I want to try and take this round for free.
Yeah, it's the little bonus round, trying to keep your money as strong as possible. Olof Meister sticky on the MP9. A couple of pharmacists coming through, not upgrading to the orb just yet. If you do win this round, it's such a strong position to be in. If you lose it, it's not too bad. You still have the opportunity to reset the terrorists in the next round. If you presumably keep them down to like maybe 1 or 2 players, as Snappy gets the first headshot. That's going to be Olof Meister. He was dropped. I think he was pushing towards that bedroom position. Snappy found him. Now they can bide their time and see how they can find the next pick. Up to Nico to defend towards Banana. He will be challenged by S-Tag and Co. Smoke deployed. I'll buy him a little bit of time here. Bomb still down in the T-steps area. They try to push through the smoke. They'll take down Nico. Great flashbang. Now we've got something to work with here. 5-on-3. Only Carrigan to defend the B area, and he's in CT spawn right now.
Yeah, smoke going to go ahead and render him useless, but we know he's not afraid of pushing through. Gets caught off guard once again. I feel like that's the 3rd time that's happened now to Carrigan. As Guardian going to be relegated down to hell over in mid. It is just Rain left 1v5, and he's all going to want to try and stay alive here. It was a attempt at the bonus round from FaZe. It hasn't worked out for them. Next, so they will better buy up and go back to the drawing board.
5 players surviving for Heroic there. FaZe trying to get a little bit aggressive at the start. Shut down those early picks as Olof Meister to drop first. 5-on-4. They went towards Banana. Carrigan did leave Nico alone. They took a bit of a gamble in that respect to fall back and play 4 players a day and hope, well, 3 players a day, I should say, after losing Olof Meister. And then at that point, Nico flashed up. They pushed the smoke, took him down. And a clean round for Heroic, just what they needed here. That means they can actually avoid a harsh reset if they lose the next round. As we know, the Guardian Orb almost certainly comes out in round number 5. 3-1 the current scoreline. And no Guardian Orb, okay. All right, gets dropped by him. There's a player with a lot more cash available. That was Olof Meister. And okay, it was a straight up wallbang. I was wondering how he got taken down so early on. So he pushed towards the apartments area at the MP9. I was wondering, that seemed a bit of a strange decision. Wallbanged at the very start. So there we go. Round number 5, and Guardian, like I said, with the orb goes towards Banana. Maybe going to be challenging quite aggressively here. They'll drop the nades to try and buy him some room to move with. Maybe even leave him at the barrels position by himself.
Yeah, and if you have an AWPer like Guardian, a talent like that, it does make sense to try and use him early on. He's going to be posted up over on Banana. I think this is probably one of the best ways you can play Inferno right now. Gives you that option of just having one man to lock down this entire avenue of the map. Going to keep Nico with him, though, in case Heroic do come knocking, which they will. Guardian going to go ahead and force S-Tag their way. Nico able to find that one, no problem. Man advantage up for FaZe. And that's somewhat forced Heroic's hand out here onto the A-bomb site. Gonna now start to push out over here towards short. Have to contend with the 2 players in Pip, Olof and Rain. Start to rain down death. Onto Heroic, it is just Yugi and Snappy left. 2 versus 5. Caught out in short on Apps, they have the crossfire set up, but Rain able to take the first, and that was Snappy's chance to trade. Won't get another one as Olof does pick that up, no problem.
So not the harsh reset, but FaZe back in the driving seat now. Now the AWP is back out. We did see 3 players up the FaZe side, head towards Banana the Star, challenging actively, smoking off T-steps as well, trying to segregate any T players, trying to take control of the Banana area itself. 1 player called out, Molotov, by the broken wall position. Guardian and Nico took him down, followed them towards into a quad and apartment split, but completely wrecked in the one-on-one duels. Nothing really to speak of in terms of the execution, and we're going for a faster B play this time. No AWP on the CT side to shut it down, but Carrigan finding himself in a little bit of hot water here with 3 players on the other side.
Does have support from Nico. Gonna be dancing in between the smokes as Nico tries to spot for the man, but other Nico finds him.
Nico and Nico.
Yeah, and it's Nico to come out on top.
That could get confusing.
I don't know. I feel like we'll be able to say one of these Nikos is named more than the other.
Possibly.
That's the impression I get. Down here in mid, though, Heroic. With that man advantage, they're able to net over on Banana. They're starting now to progress once again back up in towards the A-bomb site. Guardian going to let them re-peek into Banana. We'll get the information that no one from Heroic resides there, while the rest of the FaZe gang now start to group up on the A-bomb site. You can see they're rotating Carrigan off of B. It will be Heroic walking into the more stacked of the 2 sites here.
5 on 4. And it will be the quad and apartment split once again. All of Meister to defend with the AK-47.
Gonna try and lock it down from Pit, but he's gonna fall at the first hurdle. Carrigan does take 1, nearly 2, but it's Rain to find himself 2 from the corner. Peeks on out, make it 3, goes in for 4, but will be dropped out the equation. As Yugi finally gets himself the trade. Now it's Guardian heralding all the way from Banana. Starts to sneak on in. Yugi doesn't even have a clue. And Guardian should be able to pick this up, but no, Yugi's very quick. That's the AWP gained. A 2nd round for Heroic. And more damage done to that FaZe clan economy. Look at this from Rain.
Yeah, it was
I thought they'd won the round there.
Yeah, you'd think so, but comes down to the 1v1. It's a difficult retake with the AWP. Guardian comes in, sneaking through, but Heroic suddenly aware that could be a possibility. Yugi beats him to the punch, and that's going to be the AWP battle going forward as well. It's going to be Guardian versus Yugi. You did mention Yugi can be very powerful indeed. Yugi and Snappy make their way towards Banana. Nico at the wall position once again. You can see wallbang attempts coming through. Nothing connecting just yet. It will be another default round here from Heroic. 4-2 overall in favour of the FaZe clan. Both teams quite fragile in terms of the overall money. Coming down to a 1v1, they can see Galil's and UMP's out on the T side as well. Very similar story for FaZe. Whoever wins this could potentially send their opposition down to a double eco. So this is a very important round, especially for Heroic. Win this, they've probably tied things up.
And once again, it's going to be the A-bomb site they decide to head into. This time, Guardian is here, though. Sneaking down through short. Throughout the initial barrage utility on into the site. Molotov going to hold them back, but now that it's faded, Heroic start to make their way in. The wall of smoke separating Pit from the rest of the site. Olaf doesn't let them sneak by, though, as he shuts down 2. Rain in with 2 of his own in the blink of an eye. It's just Yugi left, and Carrigan. I won't suspect him charging in through the Molotov in the back. As FaZe, he managed to pick that round up, and also now carry a 2nd AWP into this round.
Definitely a viable setup here on Inferno. It'll be Carrigan and Guardian to give it a go with the AWPs. We'll see whether Carrigan goes a little bit more aggressive towards Banana and tries to get that first pick. I'm not expecting him to go right to the barrels here. Maybe get boosted up and try and leave him in that position. They'll be nading at the start. And it's Guardian to try and actively look towards T-steps. It's a brave pick to try and take, and he does actually take down Yugi to 36 points of health. They are on just Deagle's PD50s here. They'll be able to work that out momentarily. I think Guardian would have spotted that there was just a Deagle in the hand of Yugi. So they don't need to go aggressive. It is fall back and hold the crossfires. You can have more aggressive angles, just like Carrigan was there, holding the corner. It's unlikely they'll be able to 1D you before you can get the AWP shot off. You're very likely to be 6-2 here. In terms of the money invested, this was a force buy. So Heroic investing down to absolute 0, as you can see on the screen right now. They'll only get $1,900 into the next round. They still need to do everything they can to try and win this one. It's unlikely at this point, but going towards B, it technically is a 4-2 situation. Up against Carrigan and Nico. Carrigan and CT Spawn, who can be smoked off. Need to be careful he doesn't fire through the smoke and get one of you before Nico has a chance to spray everyone down.
Yeah, Carrigan has been playing with fate a little bit with these smokes. Gonna go out of Molotov off, plays this one a bit more safe. Doesn't want to be stuck in CT, instead now rotates onto the back of site. Nico's here, Carrigan's able to open up, holds down the angle, leaves Nico now to hold the cross, and he'll be able to find the first. Wants to make it two. Snappy just hiding out of reach, Nico's gonna get tapped down. Players though pincering in from behind. It's gonna be Rain, should be able to finish this off, no problem.
Yeah, absolutely fine. That was the force buy from Heroic. No bomb planted. That's a bit of an issue. They only get one kill from that. Got a little bit uncomfortable there as Nico got taken down at first oranges, but overall, FaZe Clan looking very comfortable now, up against pretty much nothing available for Heroic. They should be hitting Glocks, maybe a couple of PT50s and a flashbang. But it's going to be a very basic approach. There's the PT50 for Snappy. Very difficult to make these rounds work for you. You can either just rush banana and hope to trade out one frag. But Guardian, he knows the money's completely broken. Getting the call from his teammates who would have had head armor there. You can obviously feel the dink to get the sound cues when you get headshots against armored players. So they know the money's pretty much non-existent with a loss bonus and yet second stage here.
And it is just a bunch of Danes with their Glocks out over here in apartments. Stacked up outside of A. Should be a nice quick round for FaZe, who right now are looking fantastic. Double ups that have been working out for them. Allow them to maintain control over there towards B and still allowing Guardian to play on the A bomb site. Means they can also then rotate off Nico, as we're seeing now. He's going to be reinforcing this A hold. These Glocks shouldn't be able to get too much done here. As it's just a shooting gallery for Guardian. Over towards Long. Nico now comes in to pad those stats that much more, and that will be FaZe in with their 7th round.
Lovely stuff. Nothing to get excited about. Just Heroic there with the Glocks, trying to get through and maybe get a refrag, but not going to be the case. FaZe getting quite established now. Double orb set up and about 7k per player. We'll get into round number 10, and it will be AKs across the board here. And not an amazing amount of utility, more about a smoke, but they have got a couple of Molotovs to work with and a few flashbangs. Guardian hasn't really been challenged in the mid area yet, and this is looking likely to be maybe a mid boost to that smoke. We'll have a look as to how that develops. Carrigan feeling brave towards Banana. Like I said, yeah, the mid boost coming through. He will be spotted, but it's usually ideal to get in the corner because then you can actually look and hug the wall and have more angles to look through. But Nico now will be absolutely wrecked there as Guardian finds him fully flashed, of course.
SA bomb site taking to get torn limb from limb. Yugi does come in with one more, but it's nothing more than a grim consolation as Guardian instantly returns the man advantage in from short. S-Tac has been allowed to sneak on by, but Carrigan primed and ready. That's the bomb dropped. Snappy's finished off, and FaZe making this look easy, and that's what they're so good at the minute.
Yeah, just the skill level and potential of this team is off the charts. If they turn up, they can definitely be the #1 team in the world, and as the strategies develop and evolve as well, as Carrigan gets more comfortable with the tools he has available in this 5-man roster, it's going to get scarier and scarier, I think, and right now it seems to be working very well indeed. Heroic have no response. They just don't have the players to go toe-to-toe with Nico, Rain, Olaf Meister. They don't really have that sort of firepower. Since they lost Valda, I feel like that was a huge issue for them. They've got good players, but nothing on the scale of what we have available in FaZe right now.
Yeah, I mean, the real issue for Heroic, it's kind of hard to ignore it, is that they're like the farm team, right, for the top Danish teams.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw Valde make his departure. You kind of, if players aren't good, then they kind of go back. They go down to tricked, I think is probably the way that it works. And if they're better than that, then they rise up. So Guardian is actually going to fall there over towards Long. Olaf trying desperately to trade things back. Rain's doing a good job of it, but he should fall here in pit. Smarty's able to pick that up, but yeah, it should be it for them. 1v3, bombs dropped, and time ticking away. Does still have a decent bit to play with, but Carrigan, easy shot there from short. As FaZe will be able to pick themselves up in 9th round. They need to make some strict modifications here, and they need to be snappy about it for the side of Heroic.
Did you just do what I think you did?
Yeah.
Oh, good. God. I thought Matt was bad at that stuff, but you've just taken it to the next level.
Well, there you go. At least I can be better than him in one regard.
Well, it's round number 12. No AWP available for Yugi. We haven't really seen that at all, apart from the one he picked up in the previous round. That smoke from Guardian, interesting. They're trying to bait out. He's potentially not there, and then he does have an angle on the right side. That's quite interesting if that is the case. I'll have to look back at that later. He spots one in towards the underpass. Doesn't hit the shot just yet. Damage inflicted to Snappy. I'm not sure he was the one there. No, it's S-Tag in towards the underpass, and the first pick coming in once again. It's Modi looking to strike potentially here as he flashes out of the apartment, baits out some utility from Rain. 5-on-4 now, a rare advantage for Heroic. They have converted these rounds previously, though. The two they've got on the board is when they found the first pick. And Feeling Brave once again pushing through the smoke. It works out once more. Yugi takes down Olofmeister. They've got the 5-on-3, but Yugi and Snappy low HP as Rain finds the pick on Modi as well. This could all fall apart. Like we said, the FaZe players incredibly skilled. And now you've got Nico, Guardian, and Rain to deal with. Two of the hardest hitting Counter-Strike players in the world, especially Guardian with the AWP. Nico's got an AK-47 as well, his specialist weapon. This could be a little bit problematic, I reckon.
Right now, this B fake, though, being sold brilliantly. It's kept Carrigan there. Guardian is now the only man out here on A, but that might be enough. He's able to find the first. They're going to keep pushing into him. Guardian from pick, going to fall as Nico's able to pick that frag up. Now we're into the 2v3. The bomb hasn't gone down just yet. Bomb plant is about to come in for them. 25 seconds left. Going to be able to get it off for free as there aren't any nades for FaZe to stop that from coming through. Late lurk from Yugi over here in mid. Could catch Nico unaware as he starts to retake. Heads down through short. Yugi gonna come up short in that engagement. And now Nico and Rain look to try and pincer on in. Nico, he's able to get rid of other Nico. Now Snappy, 1 versus 2, trying to hold close to the cub. He goes for the pre-fire, but Nico will get 3 in the retake. FaZe gonna go ahead and reach double digits, and Heroic still trailing behind with 2 rounds.
This is one of those moments where you know what's about to happen. Close your eyes, pull the trigger, hope for the best. You can hear the bad man coming on the corner. Spray everything you've got, but unfortunately Nico and Rain are going to completely overwhelm the Heroic side there. 10-2, round number 13, a bomb going down with maximum loss bonus as well. They'll be absolutely fine to buy here, but not looking too good for Heroic here on the T side of Inferno. Could actually be the 13-2 scoreline. Double orbs once again for FaZe. After winning what was a 5-on-3 situation, Carrigan Feeling Brave once more, takes himself down to just 39 points of health. Wanted to really force the issue down that first pick. Didn't have to happen, but could have been quite nice all the same. Rain in the border room. Oh, that's such a nice shot from him. Great position, and it's Nico that actually just jumps into it. Heroic Nico, that is. We had this issue before on the servers when Dennis from Fnatic would play against Dennis in Mouse Sports. It got very confusing.
I just get Dennis and Denise.
That's quite good. Double kill. All right, Modi. That's not too bad. Good flashbang and finds a third as well. Some individual Heroics himself manages to get the kill required, but Nico's still alive with that AK-47 and completely takes down Yugi.
It is going to be 2-on-3. Bomb has gone down for Heroic. Carrigan sneaking in from Library. Gonna have to teach them a lesson or two as Nico over here on short starts to wrap around to try and come in from apartments. Carrigan falls pushing through the smoke, leaving Nico 1v3. We saw him manage to do this in the previous round. He's going to do it once again. Taps away. They're going to peek into him, and this is the man you don't want to do that to. Finds himself a second. Nico does get dropped from Snappy, but it comes incredibly close, Henry.
Definitely close, and he certainly keeps them modest. Oh my goodness, Nico, that could have been wonderful. Here's Modi, though. That was a great play by him. They did line up for him with the flashbang. That was all designed by Heroic to have that sort of effect. The flashbang was there. Very aggressive stance from FaZe. They're having a bit of fun right now, killing absolutely everything in their path. Comes down to Nico in the 3 versus 1, though. He almost wins it. Just taking 2 guns out of the hands, you can see how limited they are. Lose this round, it's almost certainly going to be 12-3. Needs to try and convert this one, as Guardian can't quite find the player in towards the underpass. That's going to be S-Tag once again, as Rain aggressive this time. Oh, taken down quite low, running through the Molotov, and he'll find the wallbang player, but it will be Modi and Guardian to duel, with Carrigan chiming in as well. 4-on-2, and a must-win round for Heroic.
Hear that flash come out, and it's Guardian the one to throw it. He's going to go aggressive, misses the first, has to be cautious, gets caught off guard from mid, but it's Snappy. Left in the 1-on-3, Olof's rotated in to the A-bomb site. Going to be watching this from long. The bomb plant can actually come in here for Heroic. Going to assist with buying into that next round, and Snappy able to now do some damage. Going to just expend all their utility heading into this. Snappy can't see anything, and Olof wins that all day long. Defu's going to come on in for FaZe. They grab themselves an 11th round. The AWP carried forward as well. Question is what's that Heroic buying going to look like now?
They get the bomb down. It won't be terrible, but it won't be fantastic either. They'll be able to get maybe 1 rifle and pistols around it. The CZ's certainly very powerful these days. Maybe a UMP comes into the fray. I feel like the CZ is actually more beneficial. The fact they can get so much more utility with it. So indeed, AK-47, 3 CZs, and a Deagle for Snappy. FaZeland looking very comfortable as the analyst built up the score lines between these two players in the last 5 meetups have been very one-sided. It's looking to be the same story once again, but if they can do some of these CZs, maybe we have something to work with here. Guardian's been at the top of middle every single round, trying to find that first pick. Has been relatively successful. As I said, I thought he was about to flick onto the player at T-steps, and they'll be waiting for the smoke to subside at Banana, and I think they'll flash over and try and challenge Nico and Carrigan. And they actually had pretty good success there, pushing through that smoke and getting the opening pick.
Yeah, they're going to start to make their way down. Pop flash goes out. Nico can't see anything. Just going to go ahead and smoke this. If Heroic are running in, they will be forcing themselves through the meat grinder as Nico waits on the other side. The bait and switch comes in. They run completely past Nico as he waits in the smoke. Modi suspects, though. Knows that you can't discount Nico doing something like that. Finds the frag, and now Olofmeister is the sole defender here in B. Rotations coming in from Guardian and Rain. Leave that A-bomb site completely open.
Oh, they're not committing. I thought surely with 2 kills they would think this is the chance to push in, but now Olofmeister, he's doubting himself somewhat there, makes a bit of a footstep, and he'll decide to smoke off now. 35 seconds, that smoke's actually very beneficial with the time ticking away, and no one rotating really. Olofmeister just holds him at bay, and in terms of his utility, he's got a couple of flashbangs to work with him. And of course the defuse kit as well, trying to set his teammate up, and that's going to be Guardian who gets the first shot and drops the bomb.
Yeah, he's now fallen back through the smoke. Olof, as a result, left here to act to his own devices. 1 versus 3, trying to buy time for the rotations to come on in. Does overstay his welcome, though, as Modi's able to pick that up, no problem. Guardian. Smoke going to start to dissipate here, but Snappy finds it. Rain left 1v3, going to fall prey to Snappy as Heroic do manage to grab themselves a 4th round.
Banana seems to be the weakest part of the map in terms of the initial plays, at least for the FaZe side. It will be Modi that takes down Nico at the wall position. It seemed like it was a little bit of an oversight originally, but Nico stayed a little bit too long, and Modi managed to take him down. Open B site, and they were apprehensive to get in there. But overall, managed to get the bomb down, out-duel the players waiting for them, and didn't give too much away. It's 11-4 overall, and this was actually quite a convincing first half of FaZe, but Heroic still in it firmly. I'm sure if they win the pistol, can get back into on the CT side. We'll see what happens after the break. Welcome back. 11-4 is the first half scoreline between FaZe and Heroic. FaZe looking very dominant once again, but Heroic did steal a round away towards the end with the 1 AK-47 and CZ-75s. It's never that easy in Pro League. I'm sure Heroic have a few more rounds to add on the board. They will be going aggressive by the looks of things towards Banana with 3 players there. And Modi wants to push down middle. Can't do anything about that, though. Olofmeister finds him in the Glock, and that'll be their cue to explode all over the A site. And Nico, he'll be ready and waiting in the pit, looking towards the yard side. And what's the final play? Will they actually go wrapping through the site, or they go through spawn? Looks like they'll go for the former as the A side gets overrun by Rain and Co. Bomb to be planted and Rain to defend at the arch and quad side. Good lord, I can't even build up the round, Harry. It's all over.
Yeah, but you tried to build it up and FaZe just tore it down. I mean, that culminated into a matter of seconds, like a symphony of death. It was beautiful. And yeah, the head conductor himself, Rain, well, there you go, over a minute. That was so fast. I didn't even realize he got 3, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, that's nuts. Well, there you go. CT's tried to get aggressive and shut down they will get. CZs and a couple of Deagles here. 1 smoke, 1 flashbang. 3 players towards the B bomb site. These rounds can fall apart, believe it or not. The CZ on the CT side of Inferno, very powerful for angles like this. It's a very close-range weapon. It can have 1 bullet potential as well. Find a MAC-10 or a kill-all user in those sort of close-range quarters, and it can go horribly wrong. 2 CTs pushed towards second middle. They haven't found anything just yet, but this is good. They're in no man's land and might be able to get a little backstab going on here. As Modi ready and waiting in second middle. I think he almost certainly gets a kill. There's a lot of games like that. Oh dear, oh dear.
Yeah, well, Noloff was looking unfazed there from the attempted heroics of Modi down through mid. As that 2-man advantage taken early on for FaZe. These CZs and Deags that are left aren't going to be able to get anything done. They're just going to wait over on the B-bomb site. Look to try and save. Karrigan, you know he's not a fan of waiting around. He's going to go hunting for them.
Well, he knows they'll be in the B side somewhere. Might as well try and take everything out of their hands. Usually you wouldn't, because you know they've only got pistols, but they have got armor. Can be a bit problematic on Inferno, and they are hitting every single shot right now. Might as well shut down whatever they've got, and their morale potentially as well, as Karrigan goes towards ruins here. Snappy knows he'll be coming. Should be the 1D, but apparently not. Karrigan takes him down. It will be S-Tag holding Banana, and Yugi, as you just saw, at the back of the B side. He's only got 15 HP, but does manage to find a 1D. I'll presumably get a UMP out of that. Maybe not. I'll just try and hold on to their saved weaponry here. Deagle, CZ, and some body armor. 13-4. Looking very likely to be 14-4. AKs and Galils come out once more. A little MAC-10 there as well for Olofmeister. Karrigan won't actually upgrade to a proper weapon this time. He'll stay in the pistol. The CZ comes out once again. That's fine. Up against 3 players without armor at all. And this is looking likely to be quite the quick map.
Yeah, let's see if Heroic can throw a spanner in the works. So as they put 2 players early on down here towards Banana. One of them being Yugi, the other S-Tag, the 2 players that have the armor. But already Yugi has been eliminated. The rest of FaZe slowly but surely making their way out through mid. Anticipating this this B stack from Heroic once again, perhaps, but should become apparent soon enough that isn't the case. The 3 players inside of A only have USPs. Guardian finally able to find that shot. Olof going to dispatch of S-Tag inside of B. And now it is just the mop-up. Snappy left in a 1v5, only with the USP to his name, and Olof flanking around from behind. Life expectancy of about 10 seconds here. Ooh. He's evolved. Got some camouflage. But not too renowned for taking those fights with the USP. It will be FaZe in with a 14th round. 1 away from map point already, Henry. And it feels like this map just started.
Yeah, it's been a quick one. After force buy in the second, certainly no AWP for Yugi. You did say that'd be a pivotal factor of the Heroic side. This is another bonus round because he's 7k on Olofmeister. He got so many kills with that MAC-10. They win this one, there'll be no money left, and it should be a very quick game. But I don't think it will be. I feel like they'll bounce back here, the Heroic side, and manage... Oh, not with that smoke. Not out of the map. Yeah, it goes out of the map entirely. So that went horribly wrong. And S-Tag surely going to be going down here. He panicked a bit. He jumped and he threw the smoke. I'm looking at the minimap right now, and it's off on D-Dust too, I think. Off it goes, yeah.
That's actually, that's twice now we've seen it land in that sort of area in the 2 days I've been here, Henry. You just throw people's smokes off. But man advantage up for FaZe once again. And look at Karrigan. How's he even got here? Snappy was meant to be watching mid, but he's just let the man waltz on in. And this leaves Yugi completely to his own devices. Has no idea there's a man in CT. Snappy could actually catch Karrigan off guard, though, as he starts to wrap around. They honestly don't anticipate this whatsoever, especially with Snappy being here. It's going to double bluff them into thinking that CT's definitely clear. And oh, there you go. Good night to Yugi. Snappy wondering how the hell Karrigan even got here. Should be able to refrag this, but no. He's going to fall as well. FaZe, they're going to be able to pick up match point here and now. 15-4. as Modi and Nico look to try and save, and Olaf not going to let that happen. Does get dropped, but now he's got the location of Heroic, and that is like ringing a dinner bell here as FaZe look at them closing in like vultures to a corpse. They want to try and pick the bones of Heroic dry.
It's looking quite grim, isn't it? FaZe just completely dispatching of their opponents here. FaZe will be hunting down Nico and Modi. They'll find the first, and it just looked like Heroic panicked a little bit towards B. Just couldn't really hold off the encroaching terrorist players towards B. That smoke just suggested, he did get that smoke down. He presumably holds them off, and then he can't push through the smoke, but he threw it off the map, and it all falls apart. 15-4, 11 match points in a row. If that happens, Harry, they do it. What are you going to do? Give us something to work with here. Build up the hype.
I'm not. Well, you know, I mean, I think you should put some money on this, Henry. I mean, if they do, what are you prepared to?
If it happens, no, I've asked you, and I think you should shave your head if it happens.
Well,
I think you should go out there and put that on the line.
Fine. You know, I'll say it. Let's go.
All right,
all
nice.
Or nothing.
Now we've got something to work with. Now, Heroic, we need you to win. Let's go. Let's build up the tension, the excitement. Famis's, UMPs, and Max 7s. And here we go. The first kill comes in for Modi. We've got something to work with here. The long battle begins.
Yeah, it's going to get traded out as FaZe how to pick that up. Heroic looking to try and save their skins and also my hair. As,
I think you might be fine.
Yeah, it's not looking good. Nico going to go and pick them apart. Nico and me go to the same barber. He's not going to be seeing me in there anytime soon.
It seems to be the case. It is going to be a 3 versus 1. It's like I said about Heroic, since the departure of Valda, I don't think they have what it takes to take on a team like FaZe. I still think they'll be a competitive team going forward, but it's going to take some more time. They need to deepen their map pool and see what they can do to make this team viable against world-class opposition. FaZe looked very comfortable there. Wasn't too much to talk about. Wasn't a very strategic game. Didn't have to work too hard. Just hard-hitting, great aim, great duels. They warmed up from just playing NIP as well. So FaZe looking great, and that's the scoreline, unfortunately, we've come to expect in this particular matchup. FaZe take it 16-4. We'll take a quick break and see what the analysts thought of it.